Okay, guys, and we're live. So today I want to thank everyone for being here. This is a special broadcast with 5 by 5. I've tried to coordinate something special today. I thought when I started this channel, it was not about just about America, it was about the world. And so I've had serious conversations with KB, who I was fortunate enough to get to meet a couple weeks ago from South Africa. I have, through the process of this movement, been able to meet some really good people. Of course, you all know Daddy Dragon from the UK or England, better call him English. And then so I reached out to GT a few days ago and thought, I need to get his Irish butt in here. And let's try to bring everyone together and have a conversation about how this is happening in all these different countries. This is not a America thing. It's not a South Africa thing. It's not an Irish thing. It's a world thing. So GT, I'm glad that you popped in. DD should be here shortly. So I know he's closing out his show, so he should pop in here in a minute. How you doing? Long time, homie.
Oh, yeah, long time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing?
Oh, happy days. Sorry, I came in at the last minute because I haven't used Zoom in so long. I had to reinstall everything. Literally just got across the line just as you were introducing me. Hello? Hello, 5 by 5. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we have got you. So what I'm going to do, I hate to do this to you, YouTube. I'm going to have to do it. We're going to talk about some things today that YouTube does not like. So I'm going to here. Let me bring this up. I'm going to put out our link tree in the room, and you'll have to join us on another platform. I'm going to show you. I'm going to play a 7-minute long video. Guys, if you're out there, if you see anybody else join, please tell them to go here because I can't do this like with this topic today. I will show you why. Yes, everybody always says they're being attacked. Yes, they always say, oh, I'm being shadow banned. We got this morning. Well, 11 hours ago, so it might as well be. This is a medical misinformation. This is basically the warning strike. If you already have one, and this is from a video from a year ago. No breaking Spectre with Trump and Putin and the NWO. This video was from a year ago. So yeah, they're coming back around to do what they do. So what I'm going to do to give some people the opportunity to get into this room is KB shared a video with me. I think it was today, KB. And oh, let me. Where's my manners? KB, this is GT. Gran Torino.
Nice to meet you.
And to meet you, sir.
KB is from South Africa, as you can tell. GT is from he's my Irish mate.
I've watched your work, GT. You do great stuff.
I appreciate that, KB. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a good fella. And so then of course Breaking is here because he keeps up with the NGOs and kind of the financial stuff. That's all Breaking does basically is go through the news every day. He knows what's happening, especially here in America.
What is going on, folks? Good to see you, GT, KB. How we doing today?
I remember speaking to that dulcet tone from quite some years ago. It hasn't changed an octave. Pleasure to meet you again, my old friend.
Howdy.
Yeah, he has that radio voice. Trust me, he's my co-host too on a show, and I'll leave it at that. He gets some love from the ladies. I'll say that. But listen, I worked around GT, so I'm used to that. Listen, the fanning over GT back in the PSP days was unreal. That's that Irish accent, but it is.
He also sings, so he has that on me.
So I know every time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is 7 minutes and 42 seconds long. I'm going to play this. I think it gives a pretty good overview of kind of what I'm going to try and talk about today and what I think is kind of coming. So with that, this will give people time to trickle into the room. And again, out there, if you guys can help me let everybody know, pretty much after this, it's middle finger to Susan Wojcicki.
In the last few segments, what I laid out for you is the engineered chaos that's coming to America and other countries. This will happen in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and most European countries as well, and other parts of Southeast Asia, and of course Central and South America as well. This is a global plan to exterminate humanity, to take down the human race and crush human civilization. I'm just explaining the mechanisms of how they're going to achieve that. You're going to have disease, you're going to have rioting, you're going to have the financial collapse, you're going to have just a complete failure. I mean, anarchy is really the only way to describe this. Anarchy, massive looting, arson, rape, destruction, pillaging, ransacking, everything, especially in the urban city areas. I'm not saying this is going to happen in rural communities, because I think rural communities will mount a defense against this. Using firearms, using local law enforcement and volunteers and civilian security forces and so on. But urban cities, I mean, left-wing cities are pretty much gone. They will collapse. The result of this is then, of course, at a national level, the Biden regime, which is an illegitimate regime that cheated to try to seize power. And by the way, a lot of new evidence coming out of Georgia right now and also Arizona with the hearings today is provable fraud at this point. I'm not going to go into it at this moment. The Biden regime will assert military authority, just like what's happening in South Africa. They will declare essentially military dictatorship under the guise of public health. From there, we have two things that are going to happen. This is according to my analysis and my sources. Number one, you're going to have states and regions begin to declare secession from the illegitimate Biden regime. Texas will be part of this. You're going to have the southern states, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, probably we'll see Kansas and Oklahoma join that, and Mississippi and so on. You're going to have southern states form a new union, and you're going to have war against the illegitimate federal military, I don't even know what you call them at this point, the woke Pentagon. I guess they're going to come after us with like transgender troops. They're going to be wearing like rainbow dildo monkey butt suits and carrying M4s and marching towards Texas or something. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. But the Texas defenders are not going to be dressed like that. They're going to be wearing, military camo and actually fighting for freedom. But you're going to see secession, and you're going to see then war erupt across America. As this is happening, Biden and his handler, Obama, and I've predicted this for many years, Obama will return to the United States as the head of the UN or a high-level influencer of the UN, and we will see United Nations troops flooding into the United States, probably communist Chinese troops under a UN banner that claim to be here to provide food operations, humanitarian operations, okay? So the humanitarian operations, in the same way that the Biden regime is going to be targeting Republican counties, Biden regime is going to be targeting Republican strike force teams, you're going to have, quote, humanitarian missions run by communist Chinese troops under the command of the United Nations at the request of treasonous Biden that are then invading and attempting to occupy the United States. Importantly, those invading forces will come in through both the southern border and also the northern border from Canada, because of course Justin Trudeau, not even going to go into that, Justin Trudeau, Justin Castro, whatever you want to call him, he is working with the communist Chinese. He's practically a communist Chinese agent at this point. So they're going to come from Canada, but the bulk of the forces will come in along with armored up narco cartel strike force teams through the southern border, which means Texas will be under attack, Arizona, California, New Mexico. These forces are going to come in, and it's the narcos and the military. They're already flying drone missions, which are really surveillance missions in U.S. territory, such as that mysterious drone that was spotted over Tucson, spying on key energy infrastructure and also the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base there in Tucson. So you're going to have an invasion of the United States. You're going to have a civil war. You're going to have a crushed infrastructure, and you're going to have mark of the beast economic efforts underway. Now, we've got about 4 minutes left here. How do you survive this? I always try to give you solutions. I know it sounds bad. This is a nightmare scenario, but how do you survive it? Key point number one, you've got to have supplies to be able to live through a power grid failure, food supply failures, ammunition being cut off, and also the internet being cut off. So InfoWars and Natural News and all the websites that you love will no longer function in many regions. Now, there will be efforts to try to have an internet kill switch. Ultimately, this is only going to achieve a segmentation, a regional segmentation of censorship. where if you're in California, you won't be able to get to Infowars.com. But if you're in Texas, you may still be able to get to it. So, and the same thing is true about e-commerce. If you order from an online store like the Infowars store, which is based in Texas, you may be able to still get some supplies and get delivery in the state of Texas or states that are part of the Texas Union. But if you're outside that union, if you're in California or New York, you won't be able to even access the website, nor to get deliveries of supplies. So we're going to see economies and production become very localized. And this is why the next solution to point out to you is you've got to move. You got to vote with your feet. Now or never, folks. Now or never. You got to get to a red state. You got to get there now, a place that produces food, that produces ammunition, fire, willing to say no to the federal tyranny that is coming. The federal tyranny, the martial law military dictatorship that's coming. So what states are these? I mean, you can figure it out. It's Texas, it's Florida, it's North and South Dakota, it's Wyoming and Utah, maybe Arizona, and so on. Most of the Midwest, Indiana, Missouri, Kansas, and so on, and Kentucky and North Carolina, just on and on. But if you're in a blue state, if you're stuck in a blue state, you're probably going to, you're going to be executed, is what's going to happen ultimately. You're going to be starved out. You're going to be injected with a bioweapon. You're going to have your guns confiscated. You're going to end up in a COVID concentration. We either live we either stand up and resist this with the help of God and the help of our fellow countrymen and women, or we die and perish and lose this nation and lose our world. You understand? Now, I think we're going to win, but I think we're going to lose tens of millions of Americans in the process, okay? So ultimately, we achieve victory. Ultimately, God wins. Ultimately, we restart this nation. But people that people that perhaps you love, maybe family members, are going to perish in this process.
I shared that. Listen, I'm not a fear porn person. Any of these guys in this room can tell you, I'm newer to KB, but the rest of them, I've been in the background in this movement since the beginning. I don't say this lightly. You can ask KB. I've had private conversations with him about the South here in America, for him to understand that here in America, it's almost like you live in a different country from North versus South in a way. There's a reason why they don't pull this bullshit down here in the South. They know that we're very patriotic down here. There's 3 things in the South, rules that you follow, and you will be fine. God, family, and guns. You don't mess with those 3 things in the South, and you're fine. We don't care what you look like, what color skin you are, what religion. We don't care. You leave that alone, and you'll be fine. But if you've been paying attention to what's happening in the world, and if you don't think this is possible, I implore you to look what's happening on our southern border right now. Just look what's happening on our southern border. They have brought in almost 1 million people in 6 months, and that's just the ones they've apprehended. 1 million people. Do you know how much that is for the drug cartel? Every single person that comes across our southern border, at the very least, pays MS-13 $3,500. I did the math last night. Of 1 million people, that's just, again, the ones that's been apprehended. If you do the lowest, $3,500, Biden's made the MS-13 $3.5 billion in 6 months. You don't think that they're supporting this situation? Look, I'm going to tell you, this is happening in America. What are they doing? Do you think it's just people from Mexico that's coming through our southern border? It's not. These are the people. They're coming in massive groups now and standing at the fence like this. And what is Biden's ICE agents and border security doing? Oh, they're opening the gate for them and letting them in. Do these people look like right here like they're Spanish speaking? Does this look like a Spanish family? No. This one gentleman interviewed some of them. This guy right here, they arrested this guy. He was one of the most dangerous drug cartels. Here now they've got them filled semi-trucks full of people. The border's not quick enough. Let's truck them in. He stopped these people right here. They were from Ghana and Haiti. This is not, look at this. This is not people coming from Guatemala. Okay. What is going on at our southern border? They're bringing in the people that would fight people in the South. That's just the reality. These soy boys and these woke people with pink tips and drinking their lattes, They're not going to be the one that they're going to have to depend on to come down here because they're going to have a problem with the South. They are. They all know it. And so with that, I'm going to drop this link out on YouTube one more time. And I'm sorry, YouTube, but if you weren't here in the beginning, I showed you why I have to do this. They gave us another warning shot on a video we did a year ago. And I'm not playing games today. We're not playing this Susan Wojcicki dancing around words because we're going to talk about COVID. We're going to talk about the election, and in YouTube world, your channel's done. So please try to figure out how to join. We're on Trovo, we're on DLive, we're on Foxhole, we're on Twitch. Pick your stream. But I can't do this with YouTube anymore. And I hate losing you. I know it's easier for you guys over in the UK, but they're giving me no option. So please figure out how to get over there. And with that, Susan Wojcicki, you can kiss my fucking ass.